I think I'm very close to the tent. I might fall in, but that's fine. Hello and welcome to Post-COVID Miro. Last week I had COVID. I still do have COVID. It's getting much better now. And that is also the reason why there wasn't a video last week. I really couldn't do much except lay in bed, watch Finding Nemo, Finding Dory and Bambi, and just drifting in and out of sleep. And then I wake up and I cry a bit and then fall asleep. So it was a pretty good time. 1 out of 10. I do not recommend. Another thing that happened since last week is that I have started to drink a whole lot more of this ginger tea with some honey and milk, and I haven't had coffee in a week, which is very odd because I usually drink 2 or 3 cups a day, and when I say cups, I really mean mugs. When I say mugs, I really mean like just, plant pots full of coffee. I also realized this is not a coffee video or, update in Miro's life video. This is a plant video. And what I need to do is clean out my grow tent a little bit. I don't know how much strength I will have. I might not do all of it. I most likely will not do all of it because there's just a lot of work and it takes a lot of time to clean out a grow tent. And again, I don't feel 100% yet, so I will just do some light cleaning potentially. We will see how it goes. Maybe we will feel very energetic, but I doubt it. And I really need to do it because my Hoyas have been growing and flowering in the tent, and really it's just messy on the floor. There's a lot of old flowers, I think even algae. Who knows what I will find in the bottom of that tent. I do know that I need to retrellis a couple of Hoyas, so I think I will do that. So, grab your holy book and pray for the Hoyas. I don't know if I have anything else to say. My hair keeps getting in my mouth. Disgusting. I will also potentially now take out some plants from the tent that I intend to grow on my grow wall. That was a video that I really wanted to do in the previous week, but again, sick, so I couldn't do it. And I think that the fate of this wall is just not very good at this point. I have been postponing it for a while. The light in the tent is currently off because these tents are on a timer and the timer turns on at 8 p.m. Right now, I think it's about 4 p.m. It's very late in the day to start really anything except to eat. It's never too late to eat, except if it's like 1 a.m. Just don't. Was that leading to something? I will turn on the lights so I can clean inside. I don't think that should be a big problem. And I do have a couple of Hoyas in bloom. My Hoya Praetori from Camilla just opened today and it is beautiful. They are so fuzzy. I love them. I adore these flowers. I think they are adorable. They do not smell yet. I don't know if they even will. And my Hoya Jennifer is in bloom. And this time it lasted shorter than the last time. Last time I think it was 4 days, but one of the peduncles was done blooming this time in about a day and a half or something like that. You can see here one and then another one, which I have no idea if it's in focus. It smells really, really nice, and it's a beautiful plant. It's one of the more successful examples of my trellising. So, take that for what it's worth, which is probably not much. She grows in my other grow tent, so the one that you currently don't see. She grows there, so they are side by side, and this grow tent will actually get replaced because I'm getting a bigger grow tent from Mars Hydro, with a bigger light, slightly bigger tent. It's not huge. It's gonna fit, okay? I know we are all worried. It's going to fit, possibly, maybe. Because this is a newer tent, I will move it here. It's just slightly improved design. I will disassemble this one and keep it in my storage until spring, or I will sell it. I don't really know. I would ideally love to use it, but with the prices of electricity going up, that's just really not going to happen this winter. I think running 2 grow lights here will be sufficient. Plus the storage room where I want to keep it is unheated, so I would have to heat it, and that is actually what drives the price of the electricity or the cost of the electricity bill up. I haven't found that the LED lights contribute that much to it. It is the heating. A small heater will use as much as 3 of these big grow lights. These grow lights are 300 watts and I dimmed them to about 25 to 30%. So they don't even use that much electricity. But I think a small heater is usually around 1200 watts. So, you know, if you are trying to heat your grow tent with electricity, that is where the cost is. It's not the lights as much as the heating. Right now, I think it's time to pull my hair back up because it's getting very humid. We are entering the humid season here. Today, I think it was like 90% humidity outside, which is lovely. Do not recommend again. It's just going to be lovely trying to clean in this high humidity. I am already looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of unpleasant angles and sweat and who knows what else. So be prepared. That is all I have to say. I'm going to turn on the light and we will see what is inside the tent. And I will obviously show you the plants. 2 of them are outside actually. My 2 propagations, the base and the top part of my Florida Beauty. They really need to be watered, but as you can see, the top part has decided that it wants to be mostly yellow, which I do not support. So this leaf was fully variegated and then it started to have its moment there. And I think this leaf is actually going to have more variegation. So I'm looking forward to that. This is the base of the plant. This leaf, this is the only leaf that I had when I purchased it last year. This is the leaf that it arrived with. It was, you know, messed up then and it stayed. It doesn't want to die, so I think I'm going to actually cut it. And it seems to me that this one is actually also going to be, so this is not green, this is going to be most likely that yellow. It produced these 2 leaves, the base, and then this. This is not part of the story. But what I think I will do is I will put them together so I can make a nice fuller plant and I will put it back into the grow tent. But that's not a task for today Miro, that is a task for a future Miro. Future Miro is not gonna love today's Miro. Okay, so this is what the grow tent looks like. As you can see, we have a lot of nasty stuff down there. A lot of nasty stuff down there in the corner. Some fallen leaves, that's fine. And then on top, we do have Hoyas here and everywhere really. We do have some yellowing leaves down there. That's fine, that happens. I just need to take that off. And I do have a lot of moments like these where they are tangled in everything. I'm particularly looking forward to this. I think I will try to untangle some of them. That's why I said I don't think I'm going to take out all of them from the tent, just some, because, you know, I have this going on there. So we'll see. We'll see what we are going to do about that. I have not decided how we are handling it, but overall, they're growing really, really nicely in the tent. Just all across the board, beautiful. And I need to clean it up a bit. I will probably also water them and see again which one of these is going outside. I think that Hoya tropiana in the back, I will show you the plant later, that will go out, and then maybe my Nicholsonia will go on the wall. Subquintuple nervous, I'm not really sure. I think so. I think I will take it out, and yeah, obviously I will replace the ones that I take out with some other plants. And, you know, just so you can see, this is the other grow tent. A plant is missing there. That is where Hoya Jennifer goes. As you can see, in both of the tents, we have vines going everywhere. They're also growing really, really beautifully. Just enjoying the tent life. I do not blame them. We do have some issues here with Hoya Denomensis adjusting, but we'll take care of that, hopefully. And yeah, you can see that some of them have grown. I have my philodendrons down there. I also have some new plants down there. I'm not gonna tell what they are. If you saw them and if you can ID them, that's fine. but they're going to appear in a video, in a different video. It's usually 28 degrees in both of these and around 80% humidity. Obviously, because I opened them, now the temperature is dropping, as is humidity. They will be around 28 and 80% of humidity, 28 degrees Celsius. So yeah, I think it's time to just take these out. Some of them are just really gorgeous, like this Hoya. My gosh, she's beautiful. Beautiful. And this one is also pretty. That's a very top-down angle, but it is what it is. You can see that I do have a tent on top of those two tents. It's my old tent, but it's laying horizontally. We're going to talk about that at one point in the future. Not today, though. And I think you can probably hear the fan in the back, so I could turn it off, but then I'm also going to probably sweat when I go into the tent, so let's try not to do that. This is what the tents look like. We're cleaning out this one. You do see some storage stuff up there, like a pot that I need to repot my philodendron in. Clearly, I didn't do it. A puzzle that I didn't solve. There was a moment when I was like, I really want to do puzzles, because I was looking at puzzle channels on YouTube, and I haven't done puzzles in years and years and years, and I decided, let's try with the 1,000 piece puzzle. It's not easy. So we didn't finish that yet. But yeah, storage stuff on top of the tent. They're very handy for that. So I'm gonna start taking out plants. I think I'm going to take the ones from the bottom first, where I do have my syngoniums, and I actually don't even know why I'm standing for that. This angle is useless. Oh, we're gonna fix that. I'm gonna start taking out my syngoniums. I do have a couple of new ones. I unfortunately forgot the names. This is silver something. I have started to really love syngoniums, as you will soon be able to see. This is Ormna, something like that. I don't know. It's cute. I do have my propagation of white princess that produced a pink leaf. So that's a pretty cute one that I decided to keep. Of course I did. Some random anthurium propagations. We do not need to see all of the plants. This is kind of a cute one. This is Philodendron majestic, I think. This is a plant I got from my friend. It's growing beautifully. I really love it, and I think I need to repot it. But again, future Miro stuff. I also got Philodendron tortum from the same friend, and it's growing really well too. So that doesn't need to be repotted. My Philodendron tortum, the original one, left me, sadly. Another anthurium propagation. I did a video where I cut my Philodendron melanochrysum, but I never finished editing that video or even begun. And I think I probably deleted the footage in the meantime, so that's something that you're not seeing. I have my Hoya exilis from Betsy. That one, again, it lost most of the leaves. It was a very big cutting, but this is all a new vine. So it is recovering. Unfortunately, I do not know what to do with the setup, so I decided to just keep it as is. I will try to put it somewhere up higher in the tent. The light is awful. That's a bit better. So I have this Anthurium Silver Blush, I think is the name. It was making these small leaves, and then all of a sudden, boom, it made this big leaf. It's growing really, really well, and I love it. This is an accidental propagation of my Philodendron Snowdrift. It's not very snowdrifty. There is a bit of variegation there. I, by accident, broke this off from the main plant, from the base. I have one that is bigger, much bigger. It's huge. This was actually on the base of the plant, because I think I cut the plant into the... I took several cuttings and I kept the top and the base, and this is from the base, and I have the top which grew just... Ugh. I decided to keep this propagation of Anthurium forgetti. I had at one point 4 or 5 that I propagated from the same plant, and I just decided to keep this one. It's actually, I think, the smallest one, but for whatever reason I found him super cute and I kept him. This is a plant that I struggled with a bit. It's Anthurium crystallinum. It was in semi-hydro and I didn't love it. I think this is one of the first leaves that grew after semi-hydro, and you can see it doesn't look great. And then it made this leaf in organic mix, and like, hello, beautiful. And then it pushed out these two leaves, and just, they're huge. I mean, my head is huge, and they're huge. They're still hardening off. They are absolutely beautiful. And this is a 15 centimeter pot, so you can tell he's getting big. I have my Philodendron Glorious, which I don't really know how I feel about. I gave him a pole, but it decided to ignore the pole. Now it's growing to the side. I think I want to do something about it, but I don't know. The new leaves, when they come in, they're super pretty. And this was like from a tiny propagation. This is a beautiful Syngonium. I think this is Panda or Panda. These are the new leaves. I mean, absolutely stunning. This is a pink spot that grew from a stump my friend gave me. Again, love her. I mean, the plant. Also my friend. This is Godzilla. I recently cut this back, but it's growing really, really well. I was very liberal with cuttings too, but it's starting to grow again, which I'm loving. I know it's not everyone's favorite, but I really like it. This is Three Kings, looking very nice and healthy. This is Ngern Lai Ma, also one of the small propagations that grew here. They're really loving cocoa peat and perlite. I had them at one point in Pawn. They did not like Pawn. I think you saw this plant in one of my hauls. This is Grey Ghost, or I can't remember what's the other name for it, but it has grown a lot. This was a 2-leaf plant in, I think, late winter, early spring, and it grew just beautifully for me. This is my Mojito. This plant was much, much, much bigger. I, again, cut it. I had, at one point, I think 20 propagations with like 4 or 5 leaves that I sold. I'm not gonna cut it again until it starts to vine. And I hope it doesn't start to vine soon. I just really prefer them to be bushy. I had issues with this plant going fully green, but I have found that putting it in lower light actually did the trick for me. They have became more variegated in lower light. It's beautiful right now. Beautiful. So I'm keeping that one. I was worried this was gonna revert, but then it pushed out variegated leaves. This is Aurea, Syngonium pedophyllum Aurea. I have 2 plants in this pot. I'm interested to see what the new leaves will be like. It's also on the bottom of the tent, so not super high light, and it seems that that's just a perfect light for Syngoniums. So it's looking really, really nice. I think this is milk confetti. It is from my friend. It's a bit sticky because of the Hoya blooms from the top, but it's looking also very nice. The light isn't really the best to show you these plants, but you can see it's objectively beautiful, I think. We can agree. This is not my pot. So those are the Syngoniums. I have Philodendron gigas. Philodendron gigas was all the way in the back. I also cut this in May. It just wasn't doing it for me. I didn't love the way it looked, so I left like a 2-leaf cutting for myself, and it grew all of this since May, and I'm loving it more now. It did start to make the smaller leaves. I think it had a crisis because they were getting bigger and bigger. You can see they were sizing up really nicely, but then they started to get small again. But I think it was just a matter of it not rooting, but now it has rooted, and you can see that after the small leaf we got a bigger one. So it rooted again in the pole. It's doing really well. I thought that maybe it would be too low of the light on the bottom of the tent, but no, it seems to be doing okay. We have a lot of roots also in that pole, which I have no idea if can actually be seen. At one point I wanted to get rid of it, but now I actually really like him. Even if the leaves stay this size, I think he looks pretty cool. I would go as far as to say that I like him more than Melanochrysum. Sorry, Melanochrysum lovers. This is Ring of Fire, and I best take it out. My friend sent me Ring of Fire as, I think it was like 2 or 3 baby leaves. It was so adorable, and it still is very adorable. It grew super well for me. It's next to my Hoya undulata, actually. But I don't know why this leaf is so small. We'll see. Because the previous one was big for a tiny plug. But I'm just so happy that I grew him from a really, really, really small plug. And it grew so well. He's cute. I do have Hoya pandurata here. This is the regular one. I did want to cut it. Just don't like this. I don't know. It's a bit weird looking. See? It's just, it grew in a weird way. I'm not really sure that I like it, so I might cut this to make it bushier. I have pandurata from Vietnam, from Betsy. If you remember, a month ago, this was a small plant with 4 leaves, and it grew since then 2 vines and 8 leaves. It's looking beautiful. I don't know if she still has these, but I'm just gonna tell you this over this. This goes back into the other tent though. I do think we need a different angle right now because I'm going to start to take the plants from the walls. Outer variegated subquintuple nervous is here. We have my Waimanie from Borneo. 1 vine died back, but I'm not gonna cut it. I was thinking about trellising it. I'm not gonna cut it because there are baby leaves, so I think those might develop. We do have more vines coming here. This is my new rotundiflora. My last one died because of mealybugs, and this one is growing much faster too, because obviously of the higher light. This is one of the carnoses that I have, inner variegated. This is MB1247. It didn't grow as much. It grew some, but it's still not super fast. And Miguel Davidi is looking more and more like Hoya species affinity Burtoniae, which is fine. I like the look of Hoya species affinity Burtoniae. It is supposed to bloom with lovely flowers, so I might take this one out, I don't know. This is one of the 2 Hoya Nathalies that I have. This one needs to be repotted. It's a small pot. It can go, I think, into a 10 centimeter pot now and stay there for a while. But it's growing really beautifully. The leaves are really, really nice. I do have a different one. The reason I got this one is because I was struggling with this one. It's looking better now. Still not amazing, but it's looking better. I think this one needs more water and it needs to be trimmed back. This is like a completely dead vine. So it's improving. Maybe I will put them together. If this one starts to grow really well, I will just join them. So far, this one is still a bit slower. This is Hoya myrmecopa purple. That one grew really well. I think that one will go out. I don't think it needs to be in the tent. My VL9 is growing also really nicely. You can see with a bit more light. It's a beautiful Hoya. I do want to cut it and just put more of them on the top. I think it will be nice when it's bushy and they are all growing. So I might do that. But again, I'm not doing any of this today because I have so many other things to do. I would love just to get the tent cleaned, and then, you know, if I'm bored during the fall or winter, I can then spend some time and make these bushier. Oh my gosh! This is Huafichi from Betsy, and it already has a peduncle. I had Huafichi before and it didn't have a peduncle, like it never bloomed. But it just seems to love the tent, so isn't that amazing? Another interesting thing, Hoya callistophillas never really grew well for me, and I get this one from Betsy. This is Callistophila from Sabach with long leaves. They will get longer. It has raised veins too, super pretty. Already started to grow, and I think you saw it. I got it like 3 weeks ago, and I think it was unrooted too. Just amazing. I think this one could potentially be grown as a hanging plant. This is Corneri SR 2012-017 from Camilla. It's growing really nice. I told you it's much thinner than I imagined it would be, but it has grown beautifully. This is since May of 2022. I have Hoyas that grew better than this. Suzy Q from Betsy, and you can see those really crinkle 8 type leaves. Those are the new ones. It did make a really funky leaf, but after that we were fine. We were like, okay, now I know what my identity is. Hoya Priktai from Betsy is just starting to push out a new leaf. And I show you this one on Instagram. This is Michele. Hoya Michele, beautiful splashy leaf. I know they can get splashier. By the way, those two, they are 1 month old. My Clemenciorum from Betsy, the leaf is upside down, but it's pushing out 2 new leaves, and I cannot wait to see what they look like. This is from Camilla. This is species UT073 from May of this year, so you can see this one is a bit slower. I think in general you will be now able to see, their growth rate, because they are all in the same conditions. So about 80% humidity, 28 degrees Celsius, and this 300 watt light, you can see where the light is. It's about 60 or 70 centimeters from the shelf. I have them on the top shelf and on the walls. So they're all getting the same conditions, and I will tell you which of them arrived, and you will see how quickly they grew. For example, this is Shuke from my friend that I got in May. It was, I think, 2 or 3 leaf cutting, so it's grown okay. Not amazing. This one blows my mind. It was a 4 leaf cutting from Betsy. It was rooted, but it made all of this in a month. So it made 6 leaves, making the 7th one. This one will get a trellis today. This is Hoya AH074 from my friend Farah. It's not super silver yet, but she told me to be patient. It's supposed to be like full silver. I do have another one that also kind of started like this, and then it started to become more and more silvery. So we will see about this one. This one is actually making another vine. Even though this one is still active, it's making a couple of peduncles. So this one arrived with small leaves, like the ones on the bottom. It had 4 of them. It still has actually all 4. And then it started with full green leaf, and then a bit more splash. And you can see it gradually got more silver. I mean, they look really beautiful. It wasn't until the newest leaves here that it started to look really good, I would say. I mean, those are really, really pretty. I do like this Hoya, and the price is now very affordable. It used to be very expensive, and it grows really fast. In the past, I would tell you it's overpriced, and that's because it was. But now I would say definitely go get it. I do need to remedy the light for this one. This is Thuatienhuensis. You can see a bit chlorotic there. The first couple of leaves fell off, but it continued to grow. So I think it needs lower light, so it might actually go all the way to the bottom of the tent. This one is Finlaysoni from Camilla EPC 317. It's still not looking its best. I don't know what happened there. It's not burned. It's maybe bleached. I'm not gonna do anything with this one. It bloomed already, by the way, but yeah, I'm just gonna leave it as is for now. This one is making a lovely leaf, and then I see it has a whole lot of water. The first leaf it made was, you know, not the best. This is IML 1012. I think this leaf is going to be a looker. So far it seems to me that it has the potential to be a really beautiful leaf. I think this one also will benefit from a trellis. This is Affinity Megalantha, I think. Again, from Betsy. It's growing really well. It's been here for a month. All of this is new growth. So you can see it grew a lot. I think trellis will be nice for this. And I do have trellises, thankfully, that I already made. I don't know if you remember my Solaniflora. It lost all the leaves. This is the true Solaniflora. But as you can see, it is recovering. And I'm not sure. I think maybe we should give her a small trellis and kinda try to do something with it. So you can see we have a bunch of new growth there. All of this was a bare vine, so definitely possible to salvage them and to bring them back from something like that. This one is Hoya carnosa Brazil. Not really super impressive new growth, to be honest. It's coming back, I can see. It's coming back. And it's just maybe one of those things. Sometimes I hear that after you cut a certain plant, it takes a couple of nodes, couple of leaves to kind of get back to what it's supposed to look like. Or at least some people say that. Some people say that, I think, for AH074, and I think it may be true for Brazil too. I haven't heard anyone say it. If you have Hoya carnosa Brazil, do let me know if is this okay? Is this normal? I mean, I know it should look different, but should I be worried? I forgot what this is. I think this is something from Carolina. I think this is the Mount Gallego one. I should look at my list. I think this is Hoya flavida from Mount Gallego. It does say I have Hoya rubida, but where? I have no idea where Hoya rubida is. This is Nong Nooch from Betsy. It made a beautiful leaf. It should probably get a trellis, but I'm not gonna do it today. I do have to say I'm still very frustrated about these Hoyas. This is species PNG SV441. Didn't grow yet. I got this back in May of 2022. Didn't grow. It just doesn't want to grow. This is Hoya vibergiae. This one also didn't grow for the longest time for me. And then suddenly it decided that it wants to push out a bunch of new growth. So I'm not going to do anything with this one today. You can see there, those leaves look very beautiful. This is the pink splash on it. It will turn to silver in less light, but you can see it's in highlight. Very nice and very pink. I just knocked over a leaf on this one. This is Pistolepis from my friend Carolina. It's beautiful. I'm just going to basically show her the trellis, attach her here, and yeah, it's gonna go around, and I think it will look nice. This is my Crassipetiolata splash from my friend Farah. It's grown really, really nice. It should probably get a trellis at one point, but I think it's too early, so we don't like to do things early. We're doing things late. So this is Hoya Mini Bell Splash, also from my friend Farah. It was a 4-leaf cutting. It has a peduncle already, and it grew all of this in, I would say, 2 months. That one is going to stay in the tent. I love the way this looks. So it's going back in the tent. I have my variegated species Affinity Burtonia. Those are very pretty. It's in bloom now. This is one of the reasons that I'm cleaning out the tent. It makes so much mess. But it's a pretty plant. You can see the variegation does fade. But in this case, I don't really mind it, because I do love the way Hoya Burtonia looks when it's not variegated. And then my Hoya Methyled Splash, which is not super splashy. Unfortunately, it arrived like that. It was a smallish cutting, like this size maybe. This is the cutting. It had 5 leaves when it arrived, and yeah, it's not super splashy. I really hope that it will eventually become more splashy, but we'll see. Anyways, it has grown a lot since, I think, April, and it also has a lot of peduncles. I find these baskets super useful. Unfortunately, I don't think IKEA makes them anymore, but I can fit 3 plants in there. I just put it on the Omar shelf. Don't mind me, I'm just untangling some Hoyas. That happened. It went all over the tent. I'm going to take some time to kind of wrap it around. It's very, very dehydrated. It needs to be watered. I don't know, I was under impression I was watering it. Clearly not. I decided to undo that Hoya pubicorola And I don't know if we can see her there. I think we need to lower the camera a bit. Okay, you can kind of see her. I think I'm going to put her on a hoop trellis. I think it will look better that way. That is in the pot, and I guess we can start, I don't know what. Okay, I kind of fixed it. I think it's gonna take up less space this way. It's not the prettiest, but you know, it's a bit better. I feel it's a bit better. I need to water it. Hello, this is me knocking over a plant. Lovely. I have potting mix all over myself. I love how I thought this video is going to be super boring and there isn't going to be anything fun for you to see, and then I knocked over an entire plant all over myself. I took a short break to have dinner because it's like 7-ish. What time is it? 7:20. It's 7:20. The lights will go off in 2 hours, 2.5 hours. So we need to get the plants in the tent. And we are not yet done with getting the plants out from the tent. I recently took a cutting of this verticillata from Loi province for sale, and this plant didn't really grow for me all that well. And then all of a sudden, in the matter of like 2 weeks, it made this. So I'm going to trellis it. I have lost some baby leaves there, so what I did is I kind of made a loop. I think it looks okay. So we can avoid one bare node. Couple of more plants from the back, AH0734 and Lacunosa, I think Durian Perangin maybe, but I'm not sure. It's definitely Lacunosa though. This plant I had since May. This is Patella White. It did not grow a single leaf. Nothing. This is it. So I think I need to treat this maybe for mites. This is species 020. I think this is from seed. It's a seedling. From A.H. Hoya. I mean, I got it from Camilla. I don't know. I think this one would prefer a trellis, but we would all prefer something. And then Nicholsonia from Betsy. This is Hoya amicabilis. It finally started to grow here in the back and there. I got this from my friend Farah, and honestly, it's one of my favorite Hoyas. I absolutely love Hoya amicabilis. This is another beautiful one in bloom. This is Hoya valiniana, or species affinity valiniana UT152. With, can we focus? Kind of, not. There you go. Beautiful plant. I recently cut it. It was very long, very, very long, and it just needed to be cut for that reason. I would prefer it to be small and compact. So if it comes to it, I will cut it again. And it does a pretty good job at making itself bush out. You don't need to plant those cuttings. You can just trade them or sell them, because this one will branch out on its own. This one is Medusa. Look at that. All from this tiny plant. I do think one of these vines is lost. It lost a couple of leaves here, but the rest of the baby leaves can potentially actually come in, so I'm going to leave that vine. I'm checking the rest of them. It seems that all of them could grow, so I guess we're leaving it. But honestly, I think this one would probably be much better on the trellis. I do regret a bit that it's not, but I think it's also too late now to put it on a trellis without repotting it. If I were to repot it, I could definitely put it on a trellis. These are joined together, so I need to give this one a trellis. It's Tequila Sunrise from my friend Carolina. It's currently stuck on this trellis, so let me just untangle them. So this one is about 1.5 months old. You can see the leaves are beautiful. We have a new leaf coming in and a long vine. So I think actually if I have time tonight, I will repot it and give it a trellis. This one I got as Hoya Graffiti. It is not. I think it's something different. I think it will have white flowers, but I think it's misidentified. So we will just wrap this one around the trellis. Hoya Shepardi that I think grew from a one leaf, one node cutting. It's doing really well. It has a lot of peduncles and I hope it will actually bloom. This is my Hoya undulata. It has been cut a couple of times this year. I think 3 times I cut it back to trade cuttings of this plant. It's doing really well. It has grown. One of the cuttings actually bloomed, so I got to see it bloom. I don't know if I took good photos, but it's looking really lovely in the tent. It's growing really fast in the tent, and I mean, I don't know. I think the leaves are coming out very pretty. I still don't understand why Betsy doesn't like this Hoya. My Hoya metrata didn't really grow, and we know that she didn't have the best root system. I see that it is established again. It was in semi-hydro. It's still looking pretty, and I do see... Actually, this is a new leaf. Wow, I missed that. That's a beautiful new... Where are you? Oh, here it is. It's a beautiful new leaf. So I guess it is growing. This peduncle here. See, that's a dry peduncle. That rebloomed. I cannot even tell you how many times. I have kind of avoided cutting it because of that, but I guess now I could take several cuttings. I'll see if there are people who are interested here. I know my friend wants one, my friend Farah, and I'll see about the rest of them. Very beautiful plant and very easy to grow, very easy to bloom. The smell is a bit too much. This is the yellow Ilagiorum, so I think I'm gonna grow this on a trellis. I don't think it's gonna look as nice as a hanging plant. It's very interesting, so many small leaves, like it's growing 5 leaves at the same time. I don't know that I have seen that before on a Hoya. This is Hoya erythrina NS07097. Doesn't look super nice on this trellis, so I might give her a hoop. Once again, I was right. Looks better on a hoop. A couple of bottom leaves are missing, so we'll make it work. That will be filled out. I'm going to leave these vines untrellised. We have a peduncle, we have leaves coming in, so hopefully those don't die back. This one is not super fast to grow, but this leaf that it made in the tent is very pretty. Very prominent veining. And yeah, I kind of wish it would grow now a bit faster. I do see it's starting to grow here on the top again, so I'm just gonna leave it like this. That's species SR 2009-005. These two are also tangled, so we need to detach them. They were growing in the corner of the tent. One of them is Pink Dragon, and one of them is Celata. One of them is Corolla Pink Dragon, and the other one is Celata. It used to be called White Dragon. This is Finlaysoni Nova that is gonna bloom again. I messed this up. I think I was watering it, and I think some water was on the leaves, so they kind of burned. I am thinking about taking them off. This one I'm not putting back into the tent. This is Hoya Treobiana. It's just, well, big. It's a big plant. It's gonna be very big. I don't think it needs to be in the tent. It will be a good addition to my Hoya wall. This plant kind of exploded in the grow tent. This is dripping, but also there's like more to it. So this is my Hoya Ruthie. It never really grew well outside of the tent. It was okayish, but it just got really big, really beautiful in there. Still dripping. Where is this water coming from? I'm not watering you. It would look good on a trellis too. We'll see how long it can grow as a hanging plant, because I really like it as a hanging plant. But I think on a hoop I would also like it. Constant decisions need to be made. So I took everything out from the tent except for 6 plants in the baskets. They can stay in there. And now I'm gonna show you the mess. Some leaves that need to be cleaned up. Rope trellis. All of this. All of this was in the tent. Except for this Anthurium, but like this. And then this. Except for that Hoya. And then this. These. That one. It's just amazing. And this is what the tent looks like now. We have left those. I will now clean these leaves. As you can see, it really is nasty looking. This really needed to be done. I do not regret taking them out. It's just, it got very filthy. So we're gonna solve that. I mean, this is like mold plus algae, I think. Horrific. So obviously you need to clean this up, but at least they're not making a mess in the room. And yeah, that's the light, 300 watts dimmed to 20 or 30%, 25 or 30%. Okay, it's time to play some music and get the shelves out of the tent. I don't know where I will put them, but I need to get them out so I can clean the floor. Please do not fall apart. Easy. A bit of alcohol for good measure. So the floor of the tent is clean. I used alcohol and multiple cleaning products, and I don't know why I'm hugging a shelf. It's a security blanket. I'm going to start putting the shelves back in and the plants back in. If I notice that something needs to be watered, will I do it? Maybe. Well, it is a different day and a different angle. I did manage to clean out my tent in that one day, but unfortunately by the time I was done cleaning, all the lights here had went out and I was just too lazy to turn them back on. So I think I was cleaning from like 4 p.m. until 10, or I think it was possibly more towards 11. So it wasn't too bad, but yeah, I didn't get a chance to record the outro, so here we are. I will show you in some b-roll how the tent turned out. It is basically pretty much the same as it was before. I do have to say I did have some struggles putting those plants back in. I have no idea what happened. Clearly, you must never move the plants, or else when you have to put them back together, they are not going to fit into their dedicated space. And I think I even took a couple of plants out from the tent and they're not going back in, so technically more of them should be able to fit back in, but that didn't happen. In any case, I'm very happy that I did that because the flowers, the fallen flowers, they kind of started to ferment a bit. Like, I'm not joking, when you open the tent, you would get that nice alcohol-y smell from it. It was a bit too much, you know, we let it go for too long. Anyways, if you enjoyed that video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and leave a comment down below if you think that I'm truly magical when it comes to putting plants in one space. I know that a couple of people that I have sent part of this video to, when they saw how many plants were outside of the tent, they couldn't believe how many plants I was able to fit inside. So if you think I'm magical, leave a comment down below, and also, you know, let me know what chore did you decided to do today. I will make a video when I set up / clean my second tent. I am postponing the cleaning until my new tent arrives, I have decided. But I do hope that very soon I will get to tackle the wall. That it's laughable at this point. Like, I have built so much anticipation for this Hoya wall that it has to turn out magnificently. But also I'll need to put in another light here that my plants will benefit from in the winter, because I am starting to bring them back in. I actually have one gigantic next to me. It is my Philodendron Jerry Horn. He needs to be repotted. I clearly have two because I was propagating. Don't ask. I will explain. But that is for a future video, and I have a couple of other plants that were outside that also grew to tremendous heights, and they need to fit someplace. And I think the corner of my desk will be a good spot if I manage to get the light up there. Anyways, that is a topic for a different video. I'm gonna go now and upload this video. First finish editing it and then upload this video, and I will see you very soon with a new Hoya video. Have a wonderful week, and I will see you soon. Bye! I would like to take some time to thank my patrons. A massive shout out to my $5 patrons. My 3 anonymous patrons: Alex von Siebenthal, Anne-Margaret Moen, Anne C., Betsy Begonia, Kari, Cynthia Taylor, Danube Daniels, Daria Kaminska, Farah, Gina Geise, Houseplant Heather, Hoya Heather, Jacques Splendid Journey, Jessica Chio, Kayla Bavra, Kelso, Kristen Sherwood, Lauren Alexandra, Mars B., Martina, Alif Berde, Marty Miller, Melissa Walker, Nicole Ferranti, Nicole and Caleb of Schlieve Tropicals, Nita Macy, PJ, Rachel Colette Conroy, Robin L. Jennings, Ruby, Sherry Kumar, Stephanie H2O, Spinach Geek, Tanya, TJWO, Wojtek Takach, Wendy Foreman, and Zloko Niponi. Also, a big thank you to my $3 patrons: Alexandra R., Angelina Farnan, Anne Margaret, Brianna Phillips, Kilone, Claudia L., David Candia, Jerry's Garden, Lisa Helling, Morgan Kennedy, Morgana Divina, Nella, Nerdy Kathy, Plantalania, Ringlo, Sheila Mason Casper, and Tang Watanas Riakul. And a thank you to my $1 patrons: Brandon Pacheco, Carrie, Aaron Keenan, Jacinta, Lauren M., Lori Ann, Subramanium, Luzmin Fernandez, Marissa, and Paula Plants. Thank you all so much for incredible support. I hope that you enjoyed the video. I hope that all of you are staying safe, and I hope that you're having fun doing the fall plant chores, because we know there are way too many to do. Have a wonderful week, and see you soon.